All right, so what we're going to be doing in this tutorial is we're going to be setting up most of our game here. Now, what I'm going to do is this game is going to be very simple. You're going to have smaller blocks which you have to get then feed into the right color box. It's very simple and effective, and it's very easy to learn and understand. When it comes to HTML5 games and mobile games, and pretty much games that you play online, these games have to be very simple. They have to have a very small learning curve, but they have to have the maximum amount of fun. What this is not is this is not, you're not going to give a 30-minute introduction to, a huge story or whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the other objects here, and these are going to be the objects that we drag into. So I'm going to go clone object type. Okay, and what this will do is if you see here we have pink block and we have pink block 2. Now when you take a look at this, what you should do is if you go, instead of calling it pink block, you can call this a different color here. So we'll go ahead and we'll make this blue. Now if I zoom in here, you'll see that it creates a little bit of a border. So in order to get rid of that, you have to kind of select everything, delete it, and then re-put it in there here. And this will be blue block. Okay, there we go. We'll go ahead and we'll clone this again. And this is going to be, let's see, we got pink, blue, we need some kind of neon green color. So I'll just go ahead and delete all of this first, and then go with that in here. And you can see that it's actually already looking to be pretty good here. Now, I've been making games for a while, and I know that when you look at something really simple like this, like having neon on black, it looks pretty good. You need to go and find your you need to go and find your aesthetic too. So this one I'm going to make more of an orange color. Now orange is actually kind of a tricky color to do. The reason is that orange, unlike a lot of other colors, is very narrow. So think about it. If you have blue, you have navy blue, you have regular blue, you have sky blue, and those are all different colors of blue. But orange, dark orange is not, we don't call it dark orange, we call it brown, right? So if I just move this back to a dark orange, we get brown. So orange is actually kind of a tricky color. It's also, if you were to really think about it, yellow would be a light orange, but we call them different things. So this end of the spectrum is a little bit tricky. And when you think about it, a dark yellow is actually still kind of a brown. And if you want to get really into this, a darkish yellow is kind of gold color. So just keep that in mind. So we're going to call this orange block, and you can have spaces in there, and if you put in a space, it won't do that here. So I think maybe one or two more we can do this here, and we're going to of course make this a bright yellow, and we'll just kind of delete that here, and we'll take a look and just simply add that in as yellow here, and that looks pretty good. And can we actually put in another object here? So we kind of got this pink here. We could probably make this more pink. Okay, we'll definitely make this more pink, and you're going to see why in just a second. And let's move that in here. Put that pink. That looks a lot more pink. This one here, we're going to, of course, make a purple. Okay, and in order to make it more of like a neon purple, you have to kind of make it. It can't be a dark purple like this, because it's just simply. In fact, let's actually. I'm going to do this just to show you what I'm thinking about here. Okay, so if I go and I make this a dark purple, you can take a look at that, and that doesn't necessarily look that bad, but you can tell it's out of place. These are all really bright colors, and the purple isn't quite what we want here. So we kind of want something more like that to be our purple here. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and do that here. Okay, and that looks quite a bit better. And if we're going to make this into a purple, you can kind of play around with this area here to see what you want here. In fact, this might actually just be a better option. And you'll see why that there is less pink in this. And there we go. So we got a purple. And just because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, you can just move that up just a hair slider to the lighter side, and we'll go and do that here. So now we have, in fact, we have 6 blocks in total, and these 6 blocks here, if we take a look at this here, and yep, and these 6 blocks here are going to be the blocks that we go and drag everything into. Okay, and we can place these, equidistantly here for now, and we'll deal with the actual spacing in another tutorial. This concludes the tutorial.